So, what is the veil between worlds? And when and where is it the thinnest? And what could you do about that? Hi, I'm Kedrick Olson. One of the interesting things about me is I grew up living a paranormal life. I had spirits galore in the house. I went to a spiritualist church. I was doing seances at a very young age. And I've had a life filled with communicating with spiritual beings. So I've got a very intimate, personal understanding about how the spiritual reality works. And I want to share that with you. So, what's this about the veil? We hear so much about the veil, like it's thinnest, like it's at midnight, at 3 a.m. If you go into a graveyard or at Samhain or Walpurgisnacht, if you go into like a haunted location, the veil is the thinnest, right? We hear that all the time. Or even if, like, we are doing a seance, we hear the person who's leading the seance, the medium, say, we're going to lower the veils, or we're going to open the veils, we're going to open a portal. But what if I told you there's no such thing as a veil? But this concept is actually really useful for our paranormal work. The reason being is we live in a paranormal reality. The paranormal is perfectly normal. The supernatural is a natural part of our world. These spiritual beings live around us everywhere, all the time. They're right there in that room with you right now, whether you know it, whether you can experience or not. And guess what? That's what the veil is. That's about learning to tune in or to tune out. And the reason why we use this veil concept is because we grew up in this very physical, materialistic world that everything has to be reduced into some sort of a material thing, otherwise it's not existent. So we've been taught to tune out the paranormal for so long that we think it's normal to not have the paranormal around us. But, just when the circumstances are right, suddenly we get our goosebumps up. Our senses are awakened, and then we go, oh, the veil is thinnest here. Well, no, not really. What happened is that you opened up your senses, your clairsenses, your subtle abilities, and you let yourself tune into the paranormal that was already naturally all around you. And yeah, there are certain locations, certain times and circumstances when paranormal activity increases. And that's what I want you to be aware of. There are locations and times, circumstances, paranormal activity goes up. And this can seem like to sensitive people, whoa, the veil's thin here, or the veil just got thinner. But really, it's just there's more energy going, more stuff going on. It's your clairsentience is being activated. You're being aware of, like, ooh, there's something going on. So when you do a seance, when you tune in your psychic abilities, when you become open to becoming a channel, that veil is really not thinning or parting or anything like that. You're just tuning your conscious awareness into that. You're removing the blocks. But the veil imagery is actually a very powerful tool, because if we're going to guide other people in a seance, or if we want to help them to tune in, we can visualize, we can imagine or experience the veil parting, opening up. Or, this is really like a psychodrama that helps to tune in our subtle senses in like a whole new way. And since we've been programmed with these paranormal blocks, using this imagery and this concept of parting the veil can really be an effective tool for temporarily removing those blocks. And this is why I tell people in a seance that there is no veil. But then, as we're doing the process of going into seance, I say we're opening the veil, and we're putting a part in the veil, or we're opening the portal. And this is why, so that we all have that full magical experience of tuning in, removing those blocks, and raising the energy in the room, so that the dead can be alive and speak with us. So really, there is no veil, but we can imagine that there is, and we can use that belief as a tool to connect with the paranormal. All of this is valid. So let me know what you think about the veil and the portals and all this opening up and dropping and lifting and thinning. I want to know what your thoughts on that. So leave me a message. And if you know somebody that could benefit from these concepts about the veil, that there is no veil, send them this message. I think they'll really get a good kick out of this and find some benefit. I hope you did. And with that, I wish you well. Hail.